All right, guys, we're about to start the show. Let's have a great show, everybody. Ow! Stop it! It's not funny, guys. We're about to go on. Take it seriously. Ow! Stop it! Why are you so mean? What's the matter with you guys? Why don't you guys grow up already? Ow! Stop it! Ah! It's not funny! Get it out! Ow! Ow! Guys, it's not even funny, and there's stuff everywhere. Peyton, what are you doing? We're about to go on. I don't want any more coffee. That's crazy. Stop it.
And good morning, folks, and welcome to another Sunday edition of Houston County News. I'm messenger reporter Greg Ritchie, and we are always happy to have you there, even after we do our silly jokes and carry on and whatnot. We have got a pretty fun show for you today. We are going to talk all things Kennard Tigers basketball. 2 big games last week, one in Athens, one all the way at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio for the state championships. Now, as most of you know, the Tigers did not win that game, but man, just a chance to be able to say they were there, the heart they put into that game. We're going to see some clips. We're going to talk to Kelly Nickel, who is at both games, and we're going to see a bit from the actual press conference right after the games, so stay tuned to that. Also, our special guest this week, Mr. Hudson Duren. And a lot of you may know Mr. Duren, and those of you that don't, he is set to replace Mike Marsh as Precinct 5 councilman on City Council after the May elections. No one's running against him, so he's definitely going to win. And I thought it might be kind of fun just to have him come by and meet him and see what makes him tick and see what kind of plans he's got for our fair town. Also, Kendall Hickson. Kendall, I know you're watching this morning, a little under the weather this week, so we hope she's feeling better. And we're going to start all the fun stuff right after this.
Houston County, Texas is a lot of things. It's our amazing cities and towns, Davy Crockett National Forest, and our fields and streams. It's cattle and lumber, manufacturing and tech support. It's national brands and mom and pops. It's our churches and it's our schools. For many of us, Houston County is home. Come visit us and see for yourself what makes this place special. Houston County, first in Texas history, first in our heart.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show,
Houston County Sports!
Good morning. With your Houston County News Sports Update, I'm Peyton Pierce. The Kennard Tigers had 2 very big games this week, making history. They went all the way down to San Antonio. Kelly, can you tell us about those last 2 games?
Yeah, Peyton, man, the Kennard Tigers played great. The game in Athens over against Milford, they had a really good game. It was tight for the first half, and Kennard and Milford fought back and forth, but Kennard really stepped up in the second half and took over the game and forced their right to go to San Antonio and play for the state championship. You can look at a couple of these clips and see the intensity with these kids, and they played a great game. As far as the San Antonio game, I know you're going to watch the press conference here after, and if you'll notice, a lot of the reporters went and they talked about certain points of the game, what they did to try to defend the state champions. And I think the coach and the players, they answered those questions, but they all referred back to what it took to get there. And I think that's the thing that you got to pull from this whole experience is what it took to get to that game. And, you know, they referred to the practices. They referred to the turning point of the game, of the season, where they really focused in and started working. And those kids, by getting to the ultimate level of competition, they found out what it took to actually get to perfection, to get to that level of greatness.
Coming into the game, everybody's got a shot. No one gets here easily. It's not an easy task to get here. We worked really hard, and I think coming in, we knew that it was going to be a battle. And I think, this being their third time winning it in a row, they've been here, they're used to it. Coming in, I think our nerves. It's hard. It's a hard place to play, and it's a hard place to adjust to. And, it was a close game for a while, and they just kind of took over. We didn't have much of an answer. Coming in, this is my first year as head coach here in Kennard. And, they got to the state semifinals last year, and that was our goal coming in. And we had a lot of ups and downs early on. We couldn't really find the rhythm and what team we wanted to be. And, a lot of our losses shouldn't have been losses. It was just that kind of that moment of who do we want to be and what's going to make us click. And I think early on, like I said, we struggled. And I think as we made our way into district, we had one game as our homecoming game. And I told him afterwards, we won it big against our district rival. And you could feel the shift happen. And I think when we figured out that we could play fast, we could also slow the ball down when we wanted to. That's who we had to be and just stay locked in at all times. It's kind of our motto for the year. But I think when we felt that shift happen, we became the team that we knew we could be. And we just battled all the way here.
Going off the same thing he said, it's been a long season. We've been through ups and downs, but, like he said, the homecoming game, we felt the shift. Like, it was either you're in the circle or you're not. And everybody else in the circle, we all came to battle every day, practice. And we were blessed to get to this point. So we have nothing to hang our heads about.
I'm excited for everybody that was part of this. We all worked hard. We all had a lot of bad days. But like they said, we all put it together in that game. And the feeling in the locker room after that game against our rivals, it's just like you can feel it. It was big, the shift. That's when all clicked for us.
We knew coming after last year we had a hard district, 14 in the top 25. Basically the same thing this year, but we had it planned out last year after the state semifinal loss that if we were gonna come back, we weren't gonna lose at that point. We were gonna come all the way. That's what we did. So I think it was the coaches. We battled hard enough and practiced hard enough to get to that point.
I think the district games are all playoff games for us. It prepared you. Every game feel like a playoff game. And they really prepared us for the playoffs.
Yeah, our district was pretty tough. I knew going in, just watching them and knowing them, I knew that we had a shot to win the whole district. And, we took a loss to Wells, and they were a tough team. And then we battled, when we had them again at our place, they were down one of their better players. And it was still a dogfight. And I think it just prepared us. I think when we started clicking was district. And I think those tough games prepared us for playoffs and then to be here. But we still have a pretty solid group coming back. Losing number 2 over here is tough because he's a big part of our offense. But this one over here to my right, I think he's going to have a great senior season. And then what we have coming back, we have some solid role players that have a lot of potential, and they just got to put the work in. And I think they will. I think this makes people, hungry for it.
And, with Coach Driscoll and the Superintendent Smith, I think that's what they try to do with these kids, is to instill with them a work ethic and what it takes to be a champion. And I guess the hope is to apply that to every part of your life, not just basketball, but in school, later on as a professional, later on as a husband, a father. And I think if they can take what it took to get them to this point for the rest of their life and apply those things, man, that they've won, and so as the coach and Superintendent Smith.
And with your Houston County News Sports Update, I'm Peyton Pierce. Catch you next week.
We all know how East Texas weather can be. One morning, cold enough for the heater, and by the afternoon, you're turning on that AC. When your home can't decide between hot and cold, call the folks who handle both. C&C Heating and Air, keeping East Texas comfortable with fast, friendly service you can trust. From AC repairs and new systems to heater service and seasonal maintenance, they've got you covered year-round. Call C&C Heating and Air today at 936-544-5367. C&C Heating and Air. Hot or cold, we've got you covered.
Do you ever feel like there's something you're missing? Does it seem like everyone knows something you don't? Do you want to know more about what's going on around you? The good news is we can help.
Did you know that for only $40 a year, you can get a digital subscription to the Messenger newspaper? That's local news, sports, feature stories, and some corner or some Greg or something. $40 a year, that's less than a cup of coffee a month. That's less than an addiction to prescription medication. Now you'll be the one who knows everything. Visit our website for your digital copy, or a print copy, or both. Visit messenger-news.com to sign up.
Well, folks, welcome back to the show. Greg Ritchie here, and we have a really special guest this week on the old podcast. It's Mr. Hudson Duren. Hudson, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we have not met, although I think, as usual, my wife's better known in this town sometimes than I am from the little sweet shop next door. So you are set to be the new councilman for Precinct 5 here in Crockett.
Yes, sir.
And what a bouncy ride that's been. So I did an interview with Mike Marsh. We had one of our citizens come up and have a little interesting chat with him at a meeting. And I talked to him right after, and he told me, he said, I'm really not sure if, honestly, I want to do this anymore. And he was pretty honest about it. And so when I saw that you had put your name in and he took his name out, I really wanted to kind of meet you.
Yes, sir.
And I suppose welcome you to the circus a little bit, although I'm sure you've seen a few things. But for those of us out there that may not know you that well, tell us kind of about yourself, where you come from, your background.
I'm from B-Lot, and this is probably the only community that I can say I'm from B-Lot, and folks know exactly where that is. Most time when I say I'm from B-Lot, I get this blank stare like, where's that? So then I say Crockett. But I was born and raised here, and in Houston County Hospital, where I was born. I graduated from Crockett High School in 1996. I worked for the sheriff's office for a short time after I graduated. Then I went to work for TDCJ, and I moved to Huntsville. I lived down there for a while, and then I went to college at SFA for a year, and then I decided to join the police academy and come back to Houston County. Worked for Jimbo Raines back then. That's how old that was. And then I left again and went back to Walker County, worked there. Went to Anderson County, worked there as a sheriff's office, and then I left Anderson County after almost 10 years, and I joined the Office of the Inspector General.
Wow.
In 2019, I've been a police officer since 2002. So 2019, I got an opportunity to join the training department, which is headquarters out of Huntsville. My wife and daughter, my wife is a school counselor in Slocum, and my daughter attends Slocum. So we wanted to kind of keep that. I wanted to keep her there and not have to uproot too much. So Crockett's it's back home. My mom and dad are close enough we can have dinner, but not close enough they have coffee every morning.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember Mini Macs and Eckards and before McDonald's. So that's this has been home, my whole life. So.
Well, it must be something, as you say, to be home, and now I take it this is your first elected position.
It is indeed, yes, sir.
Well, how does that feel? Is it feel like now I can do something, or the little butterflies, or like that?
Right now, it's still a little surreal. I mean, I was, I had been approached that said that Mike, may run, he may not, and asked if I would be willing to run, and so I was gearing up for that, and then he decided to step out, which I'm like, okay, now what? So I had to kind of pivot on that. But springtime is pretty busy around my house anyway, so it kind of has sunk in, but it kind of hasn't. So it's just, I don't know. It's still kind of surreal. I'm waiting for May to kind of come and go to see where it goes from there, and just try to prepare the best I can.
Well, I should probably explain. So the election isn't until May the 2nd, but you're the only candidate on the ballot. So Unless God forbid aliens abduct you or something,
Yes, sir.
you're set to do it. Obviously you live in Precinct 5. So I guess tell me a little bit about Precinct 5 or what made you, feel compelled to take this step to run for office.
I've served the community of Anderson County for almost 10 years and the state of Texas for a little over 10 years as well. But this gives me an opportunity to serve Crockett. This is home. This is where my heart is. My family lives here. I got family that has businesses here and homes. And, this gives me an opportunity to serve those people and, just try to make what I love about Crockett, even better for the future.
Well, a lot of what the council people do is what I like to call bad news stuff. You're probably going to get a few calls to say, man, you're just doing an awesome job, neighbor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Most of it's going to be, what about my street? What about this? What about that? And you are, I guess, lucky in a sense that you are coming in right as they're going to start the budget for the next fiscal year. So you'll be able to move around and see what streets and talk to people and everything. But before you even get that far, are there any sort of priorities you already have in your brain where you go, okay, if given the chance and half a little bit of budget, I want to fix this or that, or kind of any ideas blindly going into it that you've thought about?
To tell you the truth, no. I'm gonna go in with an open mind and open ears. Daddy always says you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So I'm gonna kind of go in and listen and just try to figure out where I can be, best served and, not make any hastily opinions without, getting all the information. There's a lot of information that comes out of the city council that's right now that's, it is what it is. So I don't want to make any snap judgments or have any preconceived notions going in. I want to be true to me. So I'll make my own decisions that are based on my opinions, not somebody else's.
Well, and I didn't give you a list of questions or anything, but
Correct.
Surely you figured this next question was going to come up at some point. Have you ever been to a city council meeting or seen one online?
I have indeed.
And you still decided to run? No. No, there are a lot of passionate opinions at
Correct.
times. And I know, and I'm not going to speak for him, but he's told us this. Mike said it's getting harder and harder. 40-minute meetings are now 2-hour meetings. And how do you think your mindset and maybe some of the, patience and negotiation skills learned in law enforcement, perhaps, but how are you going into that, sort of knowing the belly of the beast you might be walking into at times?
It cannot be harder than going to somebody's house when they're absolutely having a domestic situation. Okay. I'm going to go in with a practicality of listening most of the time. And it's been my experience that there's all the stuff that goes on, there's a root problem or there's a root miscommunication. My job, I'm hoping that I can bring the calmness and the practicality of law enforcement, which is I've used my entire career, is to try to get to the root problem, calm the people down, try to figure out exactly what they're saying, because it's not listening is a two-way street. You have the message, but what did you actually hear? Because what I said may have not been what you heard. So I'm hoping that maybe I can bring a little practicality to it, a little calmness to it. You have to, in law enforcement, you got to remain calm in those types of situations. So I'm hoping that I can bring that calmness and just a practical point of view of, hey, how about we just communicate? Let's just talk about this before we just, do what we normally do.
Well, I'm not going to put you on the spot with anything specific, but the city is kind of at a big crossroads right now. Mr. Angerstein's back at city administrator. He worked very hard to move into something else, and that didn't work out. Our economic development, it's officially shut down, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes people may not know about to bring business here, and we have some new businesses. Do we focus on ourselves? Do we go after business? Do we go after tourism? And again, I'm not asking for any specific answers because I don't know that there are any, I suppose. It's all based on, blood, sweat, tears, energy, money, time, all that kind of stuff. But overall, when you look in your crystal ball, you go, all right, in 5 years, I'd really love to see Crockett here or there. Any sort of, again, before you've gotten into the machine, any thoughts or opinions on that?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, and there, you can only see, I want to take a macroscopic view, take a look at the whole picture. There may be stuff that happens in the executive session that we don't know about, so it's kind of hard to make an opinion or make a crystal ball. I'd love to see Crockett grow, and if my wife has her opinion, she'd love to have Starbucks back. But
so would my wife. Agreed. No
but
question.
it's just one of the things. It's I don't, to answer that question, my crystal ball is a little cloudy because I don't have enough information.
That's fair.
I don't, without having that, I don't really want to make a snap decision. I don't want to make something that's based on bias or lack of information. Now, there are times when the decision's got to get made, and I'm willing to make that decision and stand with it, right or wrong. It is what it is. But, if I get an opportunity and time permits, I want to make a decision that's based on information as much as I can have anyway. So, to answer that question, right now it's kind of cloudy. I'm just glad to have a crystal ball at the table, if you will. So.
Well, there's no question, and I know the people of Precinct 5 really appreciate a lot of the work that Mike Marsh is able to do, and it's good to see they're going to be in good hands with somebody who, grew up here and cares about this place and loves it and knows the lay of the land. So I wish you luck, and I mean that because I love the city also, and I want it to do well. And no matter what happens, thank you for putting your name in the hat, because a lot of people don't understand. I think they give it like $50 a month for a cell phone or something. Yeah. It's not a lot of pay, not a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
But we have to have y'all there. I mean, we have to be able to talk to you guys, and so it's good to see that Precinct 5 is going to be okay. So thanks for running.
Well, I appreciate it. Even though I'm slotted. I'm the councilman for Precinct 5. My job is to look out for the entire city as a whole. I want to make sure that stuff that I do affects my precinct, but it also affects the precinct. I'm trying to look out for Crockett as a whole. We have a great city, and I mean, it's one of the best kept secrets in Texas, if you ask me. I love this city. The Dodge dealership back in the day said all roads lead to Crockett, Texas. He had a commercial. Wayne Williams had that commercial, and I still believe it. And I love this city and I love everything about it, and it's service to the community is one of our greatest honors that we can do. So I appreciate the opportunity, and, even though I did run uncontested, I'm going to, given this opportunity, I'm going to do my very best to hopefully next cycle I'll earn their support or show them why I need their support, and I can carry on.
Thank you. Thank you for coming by this morning.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.
Folks, we want to thank our friends over at Darling Ingredients right here in Houston County, not just for sponsoring our podcast here every week, but also all the fine work they do to support our kids, and especially in ag education and all the great ag programs, and appreciate them bringing us this section of the show, Houston County Fair and Youth Livestock Show. Folks, it's here, it's coming, and let's meet some of the ambassadors and some of the great kids helping to put that show on and make it possible.
At Darling Ingredients, we're more than a company. We're a driving force in transforming materials that others often view as waste into valuable products that feed animals, fertilize crops to fuel trucks and planes, and nourish people across the globe. From sustainable solutions that reduce food waste to innovative materials that shape industries, our work makes a meaningful impact in supporting daily life and demonstrates that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand. From right here in Houston County to more than 15 countries around the world, Darling Ingredients, exactly as nature intended.
Well, folks, a couple thoughts for your penny, or penny for your thoughts, or however that's supposed to be this week. Kendall's not here, so I won't do any of my stupid jokes. Yes, I know, I can hear the booing and the, oh no stupid joke from Greg this week. I was reading something this week, and it really it put something into perspective for me, and I thought you might like to hear it. It was basically about what life is, what the meaning of life is, and the man was talking about how life is basically like waking up on a boat in the middle of an ocean. And you open your eyes, and you don't know how you got there. Here's all these other people on the boat. How did they get here? Did we come together? Did we come separately? Are we friends? Are we enemies? Are we kinfolk? And you look around, and the water's clear, but sometimes there's storms. And you start to think, well, why am I on this boat? Who put me on this boat? When will the journey end? Is there an end of the journey? Is there something I have to do to earn getting off at a certain end of this journey? And people around you are constantly telling you they know what it's all about. I figured out why we're here. And some say we were created by something good, someone good. Some say we were created by something evil. Some say the boat has always been there. It's always been floating, and it always will be floating. We're just passengers temporarily. The boat is forever. Some tell you the destination is coming, but you better do a few things this way, or you won't earn a right to get off the boat there. Some even tell you if you do things the wrong way, you're going to get kicked off the boat at another, even worse place. And you have to make decisions on the people around you telling you as you navigate this boat. Because at the end of the day, none of them can prove, like in a court of law, prove that their theories are right. And really, it doesn't matter what their theories are. What really matters is your own trip on the boat and how you treat this time on this strange boat in the middle of nowhere, seemingly endlessly, and at times it seems like with no purpose. And the only purpose on that boat is really what you give it. And you say, well, I could be cruel on this boat. I could hurt people. I could lie, cheat, steal. I could commit any sin, and some sins they haven't even thought up yet on this boat. Or you could decide to be kind. You could decide to be patient. You could decide to listen, to help when you can, to give a soothing voice to someone having a really bad time. And you say, it might not gain anything on this boat. It might not help me to get to any of these destinations these different people have an opinion about, but what do I lose? I maybe make somebody else's day a little brighter. They're stuck on this boat just the same as I am. Anyway, I'm sure you can imagine all the different examples you could take from the boat example. I found it to be pretty interesting because I agree sometimes you look at your life and you think, what is the purpose? And, my Bible says one thing, and one pastor has his version. This pastor has a different version, and I don't know, an atheist will have no version or whatever they believe. But really, at the end of the day, I don't have to decide which one of those versions is right. Because as long as I'm doing my best to make the boat ride a good ride and a meaningful ride and something more than look at how much wealth I have or power or whatever it is, whatever that destination is, and we've all got to find it someday, you'll probably be on the good side of the shore, on the easy side of the rocks. Hey, we love you guys. Thank you for watching this. God bless you, and we will see you next week on Houston County News. Bye-bye.